Hey guys, so today's video is the video that you all have been waiting for, or at least some of you have been waiting for. I know there's 3 of you. I read your comments. I know 3 of you are waiting for me to take the Arrma Kraton and compare it to the Traxxas Sledge, the all-new Sledge, the Truggy, developed by Traxxas to compete with the Kraton. And it's pronounced Kraton, not Crichton. If you call it a Crichton, you are a very uncool person. Only uncool people call it a Crichton. It's pronounced Kraton. So we're gonna be running them together today and see which one runs better out of the box. Now what I've decided to do is make a little game out of this. Now just imagine this. You've got 2 kids, they're 16, 17, 18, something like that, and they want RC cars for Christmas. So you go out and you get them these 2 6S trucks for Christmas. You get one the Kraton, you get one the Sledge, because they want something that's kind of the same but different, right? And they take these things out on Christmas morning. So the hobby shop's closed. You can't go get differential fluid or anything like that. They got to run them straight out of the box the way they are. And so they take them outside and they start driving. The first thing they start doing is saying, mine's better than yours. Oh, no. Mine's better than yours. And they start competing. They start doing tricks and stunts and start racing them, and they try to see which one is better, which one's faster, which one turns better. And they start keeping score and putting little marks on a piece of paper, right? Mine won this one, yours won this one. And they start keeping a competition, they start keeping a score, and they do this the whole time. And then at the end of it, they tally it together, and they're gonna see which one comes out on top. And that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna do little competitions with these 2 RCs, and we're gonna keep score, and at the end of the day, we're gonna see which one comes out on top. So we're only gonna do very minimal repairs or adjustments to these 2 RCs out of the box. So the tires were kind of unglued on the Sledge, so I went back and glued them together. You can see some places, and so that's a common problem with these. And I also put the O-rings back here inside of these. I got a video where I show you where I do that at. Now I think these O-rings right here, I think this is something that Traxxas has started putting in the later versions of this. I think there was like a first production of these that didn't have the O-rings. They found that problem and they start putting them in there, because I've heard people say that they've got instruction booklets that do not say that they have O-rings, and some that say that they do. I think they found that problem, they started fixing it, and so I think the very first releases of these may have the O-ring problem, and the ones after that will have that fixed. On the Kraton, what I have done is I have Loctited all the wheel nuts on there, because the last thing you want is the wheel nut to come off when you're jumping around, which I have had happen. Armor wheel nuts seem to come off pretty easily, and the last thing you want to do is to hit a ramp and have to land with a 3-wheel Kraton. I know people say that you should shim your differential, your rear diff, out of the box. It does actually have 2 shims in there, so we're going to leave it the way it is, and we're going to see if it will last throughout this entire day. The batteries you're running, these 5,000 milliamp 3S lipos. They are the 25C lipos from Traxxas. On the Kraton, we're running 5,000 milliamps 3S lipo, but they are 100C batteries. And if I have to change out the punch on the Kraton, I may change the punch, but we're going to leave it the way it is for now. Now I want to know, which one do you think is going to come out on top? Which one do you think is going to do better, and which one do you want to do better? I want both answers. Which one are you rooting for, and which one do you think is going to do better? That's always fun to me to kind of, you know, this is one I want to win, but this is who I think is going to win. That's what I know. That's what I want to know down in the comment section below. You guys let me know, and we'll see who wins. I guess you get bragging rights or something, but that'd be pretty cool, right? So the first thing we're gonna do is put the batteries in there. We're gonna see how difficult it is. I feel like an infomercial, making it look more difficult than what it really is. All right, that took long enough, didn't it? Now for the Sledge, which I have never even put batteries in one of these before, so this is the first time I'm even doing it. So I guess the batteries, I do know they go like this. So are we gonna put that one like that? Close them like that. So we'll close that battery tray. Let's go ahead and put the pins in there. So that's so easy. Oh, that's so much easier. I decided to run one wire on this side and one wire on that side, and I think the Sledge won that one. I mean, even just putting the body back on, I didn't even put the body back on that, but the body just snaps right back on the Sledge, so it got a point for that. Get the body on there. It's my very first time driving it. I want to get a feel for it before I start doing a speed test. Let's just get a feel for it and see how it runs. Let's see. Oh, I can feel the responsiveness of the throttle right away. Oh, this thing, it moves. You see, it'll pick its front tires up a little bit when it's moving. You see that? Man, it's got so much power that it is, even with 20 million fluid, look what the front tires are doing. See how they're dipping out even though it's got 20 million in the center? I've heard some people complain about the servo not being very fast. I don't think I have a problem with it right now. That's pretty cool. Then I'm gonna do a speed test, see what it would do down my driveway. You know, we can get up pretty fast in the park, I'm sure, but we want to see what it does come down the driveway. Ooh, jeez, I was kind of nervous. I was kind of nervous coming down my driveway like that. Let's see what it did. It did 51 miles an hour. So, ooh, man. Ooh, that is nerve-wracking coming down that driveway at that speed. Let's see what it did. 54, it says it's advertised at 55. I bet you would take it to the park. I bet you it'd hit 55, but we'll give it 54. That's not my driveway. My driveway's not straight, it's not smooth. There were places down there where like humps and stuff. Man, that was nerve-wracking. Wow, that's crazy. Your first time with the Kraton. And right now, one of those brothers are having a great time with their sledge, and the other one's over here putting the body pins in their Kraton. All right, let's get a feel for this thing. Well, that servo is very fast. Look at that. I'm gonna have to compare that with the sledge. Oh, it'll pick its front end up too. Look at that. Not quite to the degree that the sledge does. You can feel the weight difference, definitely. This thing is, I think it's about a pound lighter than the sledge, and you can feel it. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. This thing is actually, it seems pretty good, actually. Look at that. The turn radius seems to be pretty good. Do I got a stick? I picked up a stick already. Thank you, Kraton. It plays fetch. Who knew? We got a speedometer on there, and we're gonna see how fast they'll go down the driveway. I'm not gonna lie, it feels quicker than what I thought it was gonna feel. No, don't tell me the Kraton's actually a good RC. Whew. It is nerve-wracking driving this thing down the thing. Can you turn that steering rate down? Let's see, we got steering rate right here. Let's bring it down the driveway, see what it does. That was 55 on the dot. Man, I wasn't quite so nervous driving this one down the driveway. For whatever reason, it felt like it came down the driveway a little straighter than the sledge did. I'm gonna take the TSM off the sledge and see how it feels, because I can keep the Kraton pretty doggone straight coming down that driveway. All right, I got the TSM all the way down, and we're gonna see if it handles a little different. Come down and drop it. Yes, it does. I can feel a difference immediately. Why is the TSM so weird on this one? Woo! What do we get? See, 55. There it is right there. Yeah, that TSM, maybe at low speeds, the TSM would be good. At high speeds, it was just easier to for me to keep it straight without the TSM on it. Now we're going to do a speed drag race, so we're not going to do time, we're going to do speed. And so I'm going to reset this right here, and we're going to see what it says when we get down here. And we're going to see how fast we get up to. And as soon as it crosses this line, which is at 50 feet, I measured it. As soon as it hits the 50-foot mark, I'm going to let off the throttle, and we're going to see what the speed says. So here we go. Let's try that again. That was 30 miles an hour. We'll do it one more time. Ooh. It was 29 that time. I didn't have quite as good a control. I think 30 miles an hour is about right. Now we've got the Kraton. Let's see if I can put it on the throttle without it flipping over. Nope. I called it. I was ready for it that time. All right, let's see. $32. It's just a tad bit quicker. That doesn't surprise me at all, because the thing, it is a little bit lightweight, so it's going to be a little bit quicker. We'll try one more time. I got a big wheelie that time, so I think that may have been worse. But it already won. That's 27 miles an hour, so it already won the competition, so we'll give it a point. Now we're going to do the servo speed sitting still. So, you know, when you're sitting still, it's a little different than when you're moving. So I actually turned the steering rate on this one all the way up on the Kraton. So let's see. The Kraton definitely feels quicker. Like this one feels like it has more torque. This one feels like it's, I don't know. It doesn't have to have as much torque because it's not much weight that it's turning. But when you do like this right here, it clearly, you can see the Kraton's moving a lot faster. Yeah, so I think the Kraton gets a point for the steering speed. Now we're going to do turn radius on grass. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the wheel all the way, and I'm going to have it come all the way around, and we're going to see exactly what it does. So sitting still, turn it all the way. And when it gets back around to, I guess, 90 degrees, we're going to put these cones over here, right where the rear wheels, the inner rear wheel stopped that right there. I'll be honest with you, that's a lot tighter than I thought it was going to be for the Sledge. Let's put the rear wheels, whoa. Let's turn that steering rate about halfway. Turn the Kraton like that. Oh, look at that, Kraton's got a better turn radius. You see, there's the Sledge, and there's the Kraton right there. So the Kraton gets a point on that too. This time we're gonna kind of do the same thing, but we're gonna put some speed behind it and see if we can tell a difference in the way it handles, the way it moves. So right about here, we'll just leave the Sledge right here and see what it does. You know, I don't have exact speed or anything like that, but it was moving, so let's see. I don't know. That's hard to tell. They seem to be about the same. I'm not gonna give a point. I don't think it's fair because there's such variation in the speed that I did, but they're so close. I don't think you're gonna be able to tell like that. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come down. I'm gonna turn right here and go through there as fast as I can. I'm gonna try it with the Sledge, then I'm gonna do it with the Kraton. And the turn I'm gonna be doing, not so bad. I don't know. It's hard for me to tell. I'm not going to declare a winner on that. Just know they both do it, you know, pretty easily, pretty well. I don't know. It's like this one's a little bit lighter, so it doesn't seem to get as much traction whenever it's sliding to a stop like that. And the Sledge, it doesn't seem to have quite as quick of a turn radius, but because it's heavier, the traction is a little different. I think they both do pretty well in their own way. They feel different. They have a different feel to them, but one doesn't seem better than the other, if that makes any sense. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to come down. We're going to see which one can handle this turn right here the best. This right here is really uneven terrain. The ground's kind of bumpy, and we're going to see which one does best coming around that turn. I don't know, I may not have to get a score or anything on this, but we're going to see. We're going to have some fun around this. Let's see. Oh, that got kind of loose, but I got kind of on the outside. We'll do that one again. Here's the Kraton playing fetch again. Oh, you got dirt all over me. Oh, first roll over with the Kraton. Now it's time for the Sledge. I gotta get a feel for it first. Oh, I hit a root or something. Look at all the pollen around the drive shafts. It drives so different than what I am used to. It definitely doesn't handle like the Kraton or like the Taurus or the Revo. It handles different, and I think I gotta get the hang of it to get the feel for it. Because you see, I'm doing what I wanted to do, like with the turns and stuff like that. It's just that I haven't got my timing down right. You know, this is a new RC to all of us, and I just haven't gotten the hang of it. All right, this is gonna be our last little test before I start doing stunts and stuff. I'm just gonna drive it around and see how they feel back here. This is really uneven terrain. I want to see how they feel. Oh, I hit a tree with it. Now for the Kraton. One thing about the Kraton, you can really feel the difference. The Kraton feels lighter. I mean, you can definitely tell that it's lighter. Oh. Now that I got it back on its wheels. You know, I don't know if I like it more than the Sledge on the ground. Oh, I hit a tree with it too. I couldn't see the tree was in the way. You're going down. I'm gonna cut you down next. I'm kidding. That's way too much wood. That's gonna be a job. So I drove them back to back, and I drove the Sledge twice, you know, after I drove the Kraton out here, and I can't tell if one like feels better than the other or drives better than the other. They feel different. Like the Sledge feels like it's putting its power down better, if that makes sense, and it feels like it's more grounded. The Kraton feels like it's more nimble, right? It's lighter. It has a tighter, well, faster turning servo, and it just I don't know, it just has a lighter feel to it. The Sledge feels heavy, but it feels grounded. I don't know that I prefer one over the other. They just have different feels to it. It's hard to say, but I'm not gonna give a point to either one of them. I think they both are fun. I'm having fun out here. I just can't tell which one is better, if that makes sense. And by the way, I want to say that if we were at a track, like a smooth track with smooth dirt and smooth jumps, I think the Kraton would be doing better. I can feel it. The Kraton feels really good when it doesn't have to go over bumps and stuff like that. I think the Sledge handles bumps a little better. Does that make sense? In my backyard, I think that the Sledge may like feel a little better because it feels like the suspension is set up more for that rough terrain. The Kraton, I think if we were on a track, I don't have any doubt that the Kraton would be just, you know, leaving the Sledge behind. But most people don't race on a track, they don't drive on a track, they don't have access to a track. But I think the Kraton does fantastic when it's nice and smooth and flat. And I think the Sledge is just set up better for a bumpy terrain like out of the box. And now we're gonna start with the Stunts, and we're gonna see if we can pull off a standing backflip with the Sledge. I don't know if he'll be able to with that big wing on back there, but let's see. Nope. Now we're gonna try the Kraton. Let's see. No, it won't even backflip like that, which, I mean, if you're driving, that's kind of what you want, right? So let's see. Now you can see it kind of takes a second for it to ramp up. Neither one of them really has what it takes to do a standing backflip in most conditions. I think if you had the right terrain, you might get pretty close to it. But these are longer wheelbase RCs than something like the Revo or the Notorious, so you wouldn't expect them to do standing backflips quite the same. Now we're going to see how they fly off this ramp. We're going to do the 30 degree first, just to see how it feels in the air. So I did have to correct it coming off that ramp. I'll give it one more jump. I do have to correct it, but it corrects really well. Let's get the Kraton out here and see. I had to correct it too, but it didn't want to correct in the air. So I think we're gonna have to turn that punch up for it to be effective out here. Yeah, it just, with that default punch, it does not want to pull that nose up at all. We're gonna change that punch setting before we go any further. I changed the punch setting. I've raised it from 4 to 6. So let's see how it feels in the air now. Oh, that is perfect. That is exactly what it needed. I think 6 is a good punch setting for this. So, but you can see they both, when they fly, they nose down a little bit and then you have to correct them. So they are both about the same coming off the ramp. So as you see with the punch setting on 4 on the Kraton, it's almost unusable in the air. Like, honestly, it is. I think that's too low to be doing stunts and out of the box. That's not a good thing. And I think people may have a hard time understanding that, and they don't know they can change that punch setting. But you can change that punch setting. It shows you in the manual. And I even have a video that's actually, I used my video to change the punch setting there. That's a fantastic video. I made a great video. It was so easy for me to follow along. But yeah, I think I'm not gonna give a point to the Sledge over it. Because I had to change that setting. Maybe I should. I know some people may argue, but that's such an easy thing to fix. You know, I'm hesitant to say it, but I think the punch setting 6 is the best punch setting for the Kraton. All right, so the next little test we're going to do is a nice clean backflip. Let's see. Ooh, super easy. And for the Kraton, let's see. Not quite as easy for the Kraton, but it can do a backflip. We're gonna do that one more time for a point. What we're gonna do is, when we leave the ramp, we're gonna pull the trigger, and it's gonna do a flip in the air. We're gonna see which one does it better. That was super awesome. And now we're gonna do the Kraton. So I'm a bit nervous with this because it doesn't spin quite as fast. It doesn't feel like. Let's find out. Oh, it barely. Oh man, that was, I mean, it was a good flip. That thing, it barely got around. I'm gonna give a point to the flippability to the Sledge. That I was actually nervous as that thing was going through the air, and I pulled that trigger and it started spinning so slow. Ooh. I went back and watched the video. It is obvious that the Sledge flips faster than the Kraton. And I know some of you are gonna say I should turn the punch up even more on the Kraton. When I did it to my Notorious, I started blowing rear differentials, and I don't wanna blow the rear differential out today on the Kraton, right? We need to keep it together for the whole video. All right, now we're gonna do a low ramp backflip. See, it flips off this right here. Super easy for the Sledge. Now for the Kraton. It did it. Didn't do it quite as well. I'll keep it as a tie though. Now we're gonna do a very low flip, just barely off the top of this right here, and we're gonna use the ramp as we flip, so that way we get some propulsion off of that and see what the RC does, see what we can do with it. Super easy for the Sledge. And for the Kraton, not quite so easy for the Kraton. So I think the Sledge was lower with that, wasn't it? Let's do the Kraton again. See if we can just wait for a little bit longer to get it. I mean, the Kraton does it. So I don't think I'm going to water point either way. All right, now it's time for a front flip, which makes me nervous to front flip a long wheelbase RC because they want to spiral in the air. Oh, you see it started to spiral and started to tilt to the right a little bit and dug into the ground, but it did it. And now for the Kraton, I think it's the tires are a little bit lighter on the Kraton, so it may not front flip quite as well. Let's see. Oh, so what happened there is that it was not going to flip all the way, and so I actually had to give it some reverse throttle. Oh, you see how it started to spiral in the air? That's exactly what I wanted to avoid. Nothing seems to be broken from that impact. It did pretty good, but I'm gonna have to give a point to the Sledge. It did. I gave them both the same amount of chances, and the Sledge had better front flips both times. So that spiral when the Kraton started to front flip, that always makes you really nervous. That's when you're gonna break an RC is when it lands on the side like that. So I'm happy I didn't break anything on it. And now we're gonna do a reverse flip thing. I don't know what you call it. It's a really cool trick. Some RCs just don't have the ability to do it. This trick makes me nervous all the time. So but we're gonna try it. Let's see. Oh, yeah, that almost. Oh, that was really cool. That wasn't the trick. Oh. Now I'm just determined to land the trick. Oh, I almost hit myself. Nope. Trying to pick a fight. Now we're gonna try it with the Kraton. Nope. Not quite. That was it. Oh no. Oh no, the Kraton did a trick, and the second time that the Sledge didn't nail. Yeah, I just got warmed up with the Sledge is what it did. I'm gonna try that again with the Sledge because I did get warmed up with the Sledge first time, and then I tried it with the Kraton. I did it with the Kraton, so I want to give the Sledge a shot now that I'm warmed up and I have my mind where I'm supposed to be at. Let's see. No. All right, Sledge, you got one more shot. Let's see. Oh, there it goes. It did it. I am going to give a point to the Kraton for that because it did do it on the second time and it did it a lot better than the Sledge. That's a hard trick to pull off. I mean, there's a lot going on in your mind when you're doing that, and so, you know, I'm trying to film, I'm trying to keep all the controls correct, and that is a hard trick for me to do on camera. All right, we're going to take the Sledge, we're going to hit this ramp. It's my 45-degree ramp. We're going to hit it real hard and real fast, and we're going to see if I have enough space in the air, enough time to do a double backflip. I might not try the double backflip right now, but we're going to see if that's something that the Sledge can do. Let's see. Oh, that was so much control in the air. That was so much control in the air. Man, you know, if I have enough speed, I bet you it will do a double backflip. Oh, wow. I don't know how much of that I got on camera. Nothing came right at me. It's only fair we try the same thing with the Kraton. So the Notorious is double backflips all day long. I don't think the Kraton will be able to pull it off. Wow, it barely had time to do that flip. And I was pulling it full throttle when it came off the ramp. I did the exact same thing with the Sledge. All right, now we're gonna do a little trick where we take the RC, we flip it over backwards and flip it back forward. It's like a half flip or whatever. And we're gonna do it with the Sledge first. That was beautiful. And now we got the Kraton. Let's see. Oh, it did it too. It didn't feel quite as nice with the Kraton. I'm not gonna give a point to the Sledge. It felt so much better with the Sledge than it did the Kraton just then. Like, it was just a night and day difference in the feeling of it. I don't know how to explain it. I'm not gonna give a point to the Sledge because the Kraton pulled it off, but it felt better with the Sledge. Now we're just gonna do a real high jump off of it and see how they feel and how they handle in the air with that much of a height. Let's see. I didn't mean to do a flip. That's not what I was trying to do. I wasn't focused. Let's try that again, this time without me being distracted mentally. Let's see. It really floated really well. I like the feeling of it coming off that 45-degree ramp. And the Kraton, let's see. Alright guys, as you can see, I am filming the last part of my video over because I was exhausted yesterday and I was having a hard time articulating my thoughts, and it was just a jumbled mess. So I am redoing the last part of the video today. So just did the air control challenge, I guess you'd say, the air control part of it, and as you can see, the Sledge controls better in the air than the Kraton does. And the reason, I mean, the way I like to describe it, the Kraton, if you give it a little bit of throttle, you get a lot of movement. But if you give it a lot of throttle, you don't get enough movement. But with a Sledge, it's the opposite. If you just tap the throttle, you'll get a little bit of movement. But if you give it a lot of throttle, you get a lot of movement. And that is really what you want in the air. You can see in one of the jumps, I actually save the Sledge twice, right? I save it once in the air, then once it lands, it tries to go over, and I save it again. And that is just something you can do with the Sledge. I love that kind of control, and I think that warrants a point for the Sledge. And of course, now it's time to tally up the score, and I had 18 categories, and none of this was planned. I didn't script this out or anything. I just kind of like winged the whole video, and 10 of them were ties. I can't believe they tied in 10 categories. That's crazy to me. And 4 of them were taken by the Sledge. It won 4 of them, and then the Kraton took 4 of them also. It was a 4 and 4 tie. So that is not, it wasn't something I planned, and I didn't want that. And I guess technically you could say that the Sledge probably should have won, because 2 of the categories that I gave the tie, the Sledge actually performed better. But I was like, just because the Kraton actually performed the trick also, we're gonna go ahead and let it be a tie. And so I guess, you know, technically the Sledge probably should have won. But, you know, I'm okay with it being a tie. I don't really care. It's not a big deal to me. As far as which one do I think won, or one I like better, I like the Sledge better. And not because it's a Traxxas. I know people are going to say, oh, you like it because it's a Traxxas. No, because I think the Sledge is better in the air. I think the Kraton is probably better on a track. It's probably fantastic on a track. It is probably better on the ground for a lot of people. I don't mind the way the Sledge handles on the ground, that big heavy feel where it kind of feels grounded. I actually like that. Not to say that I don't like the Kraton. I actually had a fantastic time with both RCs. I love them both. If you're going to get either one of these, you're going to have a fantastic time. They are really good RCs. I just prefer the Sledge over the Kraton because I like to spend a lot of my time in the air, and it controls so fantastically in the air. Now, of course, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take both these RCs out. Every single time I drive them, I'm going to drive them as a pair. I'm going to drive one of them, then I'm going to drive the other, and I'm going to get the same amount of time on both of them, and we're going to see how they handle and how they last through, you know, several weeks. Then I can come back and tell you guys, hey, you know, this RC had tons of problems. I kept breaking this and that, and we'll be able to get a comparison to see actually how they compare over time, right? Because I just drove them just one pack yesterday. You can't do a fair comparison like that, right? And the Sledge is $200 more, and that $200 is supposed to go to like durability, right? It's a very durable truck, the way it's engineered, but you can only find out if that's true through, you know, practice, through actually driving it. And so we're going to see over the next few weeks how well it holds up compared to the Kraton. And if they both hold up, fantastic, that's great. But I don't think you can go wrong with either one of these. They're both tons of fun if you like them. Out of the box, they are really, really good. They are really good out of the box. I know that's what this video is about, you know, running them out of the box. I am very surprised at how well the Kraton handled out of the box, because the Notorious doesn't handle all that great out of the box. You gotta change that differential fluid to really get a good feeling car out of it, but the Kraton has got a longer wheelbase, it's a little different, and so it just, I was actually really impressed with the Kraton, and I'm very happy with the Kraton. I know some of you are gonna say, don't you wish you got one sooner? No, I'm glad I waited, because it was kind of cool to drive the Kraton and the Sledge together as brand new out of the box trucks. But yeah, that's all I got for you today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Did the person you want win, or did the RC you want win, or did you, I don't even know. See, I can't even speak. This is why I'm re-recording the whole outro, because I don't know how to put my words into a sentence. I don't know how to do that. But anyways, that's all I got for you today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed. Like the video if you like it, and I will see you guys later.